So, Ryan, how does it feel to be the most loved man in the FKC?
Most loved man?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Good. Actually, can you hold my beer real quick?
Oh my god, I gotta hold fucking everybody's beer.
Yeah,
Second on the goddamn
beer.
Anything you want, go ahead.
Alright. So what are your thoughts and feelings about FKC as a whole?
Whole?
And the positivity and the message that it is
The whole
attempting
thing?
to send. Yeah.
I think it's alright. I mean, it's beyond me. You know, like,
Yeah.
I'm not the one who decides how that shit's been going on. How long has it been fucking,
FKC's
when
been
did it
thing
start?
since, I believe, 2011.
And that's the thing, it's like, it's been around since like Kendama got popular. That's why it has a fucking Facebook group. I came in at it completely ignorant. I knew nothing about Kendama when it took me a year to find out what he was even fucking called after playing it. But, I mean,
so
as far as the
you played for a
group,
whole year without knowing.
without me knowing what it was called. I played a toy, like a Chinese blank kendama that had thread for a fucking string. And when the string broke, that's when I finally started searching for what kendama was, and that's how I found things online. That's how I found it on Facebook, on FKC. But it was the post before Skilderness. It was all the trolling statuses I would do, and people would get fucking all up in arms about that. And then I found out that wow, these guys are really easy to troll. So I could build a whole fucking thing off of that, and because it's essentially their fault that any of that ever existed or got that far as it did, and it's still the reason why it is like it is today. But I'm not, it's nothing bad. Like nobody can see the humor in any of it. That's the fucking negligent part on their end, because if you actually read the posts, they're tongue in cheek. It's a joke.
It's hard to convey emotion.
Nobody got that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. That too, because nobody knows who's on the other side of what they're reading, you know? But that's the fun part on my end, because I know how they're going to react to it, because they will take it seriously, even though it's as ridiculous as it is, you know? I don't see why everyone gets so pissed off about it. The best thing to do is to ignore it, but they can't, because people love to be outraged, and so.
How do you feel about dissenting opinions that aren't part of the group mentality,
Right.
outside opinions, essentially? How do you feel that your opinions mesh and meld into those who think differently and also react differently?
Well, I think I'm saying certain things that people have wanted to say for a while but never did because they were afraid of being chastised online.
No one had the balls to say it.
No, well, yeah, no one wanted to start shit, and because they were actual players who cared about the scene and everything, and I do too. It's not like I don't. Everyone thinks I fucking hate it or something, or it's like, who the fuck is this guy? But, I'm not the best player. I'm not fucking, I'm not gonna change anything or, anything like that.
But you're played.
It's so, exactly, but the thing is, like, I guess the only thing I'm good at is, just hammering down the opinions of, it's an unpopular opinion, I get that. But as Kendama is so young still in its culture, like FKC is still very young, and that's just one group on Facebook. That is not the entire community in the world. That is not, it goes beyond that culture in that little Facebook group. It's just so easy to target them and troll them like they are.
Because you know the reaction they're gonna get.
Well, it's not just that, but a lot of stuff, all the articles I write are half true and half complete bullshit.
Yeah.
And that's the fun thing, is I could be really pissed off and be mean-spirited, but I've never targeted anyone personally. Brands, sure, that's different though. That's not a personal attack.
It's an overarching theme.
Right. It's applying to a lot of different things, and I never personally attacked anybody. I never went after trying to hurt anyone's feelings or anything like that.
That's what I get people to
They do that to me.
Yeah.
They come after me.
People attack you personally.
I get
how do you
messages
feel
all
being
the time.
attacked as opposed to you not attacking anyone individually?
I think it's funny. It's sad on their part, but I think it's funny towards me. I don't care. I got nothing to fucking lose. It's not like I'm losing anything on it. It's a joke to me, and it's so funny. It's so funny how, like, 3 paragraphs that I write in the middle of the night when I'm drunk can piss off everybody for weeks. And then fucking a firestorm, and then everyone they go through all of my photos and everything and fucking find pictures of me and People send me fucking mean-spirited messages. Fuck you, asshole. You don't know what you're talking about. You're a fucking poser. You don't play right. You don't care about the community. You're taking advantage of this and you're abusing it and da 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 da.
Speaking of that, how do you feel about the Cody Griswold come back with the pictures of you wearing?
Well, he's right. I mean, that's fine. That's right. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It takes ugly to know ugly. So I was the perfect person to write that article about the apparel. You know, because that shit is ugly. That's
just a cowboy hat right now.
What does that mean? I get messages from people saying, hey, that was a really funny post. I always wanted to say something like that, but I was afraid to say it because I didn't want to get fucking abused online. And I'm glad you got to say it. I'm glad that opinion's actually out there. In order for the culture to grow, there needs to be somebody constantly shattering the mold of what they think it actually is. Mm-hmm. So that way, there's a whole new avenue of thought opening up. It's beyond the tricks. It's beyond the fucking clothes. That article had nothing to do with the apparel. It was just the fact that someone was saying, you know, hey, some of us think this is lame. And they were like, oh, well, you don't have a better alternative. You're not making clothes. You know, what the fuck do you know? Da, da, da. They even went after the Skildiness shirts. It has our logo on the shirt. That's not apparel. You know, it's not designed fashion. You know, that's a marketing. Yeah, it's a branded marketing thing. It's a white T-shirt with a black logo on it. You know, they take it so personally. People think I'm like personally attacking them. You know, and that's not true at all. A lot of it is tongue-in-cheek and just for fun, but nobody gets that. And that's good though. It's okay because this always happens in early developments of all sorts of different cultures. You know, but that's the thing because after this, I think the community will grow. Now that these thoughts are at least out there. You know, people will start thinking about it differently, or just think like, okay, how can we come up with a better design, or how can we, or fuck me, I'm not saying I'm right, I'm not, you know, it's not about that.
Opinions aren't being right.
Exactly, and nothing I said was ever fact. You know, those articles aren't fucking backed up by anything, you know, except my own opinion, and so I think a lot of people have the wrong idea of what I was trying to say. You know, it was just the fact that somebody went out there and did it.
People don't know you yet. People don't understand your sense of humor, the way that you.
Well, there hasn't been a voice.
Stuff.
There's a voice in kendama. You know, like like written words. You know, there's not a. Everyone just like in FKC, everyone just posts tricks or is trying to sell shit. You know, and here comes somebody doing something else, you know, offering, dude, it was just words, and it put all these different ideas in people's heads, and that's the important part. That's something that is elevating the community in a cultural aspect, where it's a discussion. Out of all that other bullshit, that at least sparked a discussion between other people and other players, like agreeing or disagreeing, or da-da-da. Since that conversation's happening, at least, that's important, and people don't realize that. You know, they won't realize it until like 5 years from now. Every kind of community or any sort of culture needs kind of like a revolution or dissenting voice in it. And then once that, because I'm used to taking the abuse now, you know, one day it'll be accepted and everyone's gonna be in on it all of a sudden. And it won't be, and then they'll look at Skildiness and go, oh, that's just Skildiness doing that. That's another thing too, it's the community's fault, man. We've posted serious shit. I've sought out the pros every time they come out to Orlando, and I did, for the sake of people not reading anymore, they want to watch videos, I'd go and shoot videos with them. Nobody cared. Those videos have like 70, 50 views. You know, like nothing, you know? Like I said, I write something in my underwear at 3 a.m. Everyone cares all of a sudden, and everyone fucking wants to be all pissed off, and da 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 da. It's honestly just because somebody needs to be throwing a wrench in this shit just to fucking keep it interesting, because honestly it's fucking boring. You know, like there's a lot of fucking parts of kendama that are just fucking boring.
So how does Dama to the death tie to that? How does that whole aspect of bringing a Dama to burn?
That's exactly what that was about, to make it interesting, because everybody, I listened to Max Nerdcross when he came to, he says it in the video that I shot with him that nobody paid attention to. He says in the video, you know, I was like, whoa, what do you dislike most about kendama events or tournaments and things like that? And he was like, oh, you know, people, a lot of kids just come to win free shit and go home and win the giveaways, or just win mini games to get free shit and go home. You know, I was like, okay, that's funny. So I kept that in mind. And I was like, okay, well, how can we do something different on that? And I was like, okay, well, what if you went to a tournament to lose something? Or not to lose something, but like, there was something to lose. You know, you're not going to gain something, even though we had prizes and everything, just like any other normal event, you know. But just the fact that you're going in going, man, I might not be coming home with this today, you know? And I wondered who would go in with something fresh and who would go with something beat up, because when you're playing something beat up, I mean, you can have a really honed in Dama, but I mean, if it's something that's not like super fresh or your best setup, it's like, oh shit, I might play worse, and there's a better chance of me getting burned in this now. It's those kind of thoughts that nobody was thinking of before, where it was like super clean, and we're just gonna have all fun, and everyone gets a bunch of free shit, and da da da. Again, it was kind of just like the play on that of like, you know what, there is something to lose here, and it would just be fun. It's like gambling. You know, you're betting on yourself to. There was possibilities to win more stuff and prizes like that. Like you did a great fucking job in it. You know, you still had to burn your Dama at the end, but you won a bunch of stuff.
That was the most fun I've had in an event almost ever.
Yeah. But I just think the element of risk also made other spectators pay attention too, because you knew someone out of that was gonna get their Dama burned, or like. Because that's the thing, it's like that's why it was Dama to the death, because death was involved, like of the Damas, you know, and it was just like the risk factor made it exciting, you know, and it was like, that's what I mean by gambling. It's like, that's why gambling is so entertaining. It's like, because there's a risk factor of somebody losing something, you know, it doesn't fucking matter. Can I go now?
Yeah.
Do I have to keep talking about this?
You can keep talking. You can
I don't want, I mean.
You can pound your beer, go back inside.